Okay. Hello. This should be Thursday lesson. And you're watching this because I'm not here, obviously. So this is a lesson that I'm going to go over from what we did yesterday with the monomial times a binomial. And then, guys, I'm going to go over a binomial times a binomial with you. Okay, and that's pretty much all you're going to have to do. It's just pretty much an extra, distributing and extra breaking down. That's all it is, okay? So let's look at this one. And this is a monomial times a binomial, okay? You wrote these steps already yesterday, or this is today, actually, which would be yesterday for y'all. So let's look at this problem, okay? All right, so we are going to distribute right here, okay? We're distributing. All right, we're going to multiply inside times inside and outside times outside, and then we're going to reduce, okay? Or simplify, actually. Same thing. All right, so 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. And then the square root of 2 times the square root of 15 is the square root of 30. And then 3 times the outside of the square root of 12, it doesn't have anything, so it's like 1. So like 3 times 1 would be positive 3. And the square root of 2 times the square root of 12 is the square root of 24. Okay? Now we're just going to break down 30. Y'all can use other things like 3 and 10, 2 and 15. And we have a 2, a 3, and a 5. Well, there's no pairs, okay? We have no pairs. So everything is just going to go right back inside. So the answer is literally negative 12 square root of 30. Plus, let's break down 24. And we have a 3, that can bring that down. Just like we brought down that negative 12. Okay, we got a pair. We got a 2, 2, 2, and a 3. So we got a pair of 2s. And then we got a 2 and a 3 outside. So it's going to be 6 square root of 6. And that is your answer. Okay, and that's what we did yesterday. And y'all know what I mean by yesterday. Okay, all right, so that is the monomial times binomial. All right, so let's look at the binomial times binomial, okay? So binomial, let me go like this. Binomial times a binomial. All right? And here's an example. Okay? And you're going to do distributing, okay? You'll distribute here, and you'll distribute here. Now, I know some of you are saying, well, hang on, I see a perfect square in here, and it's the square root of 4. You guys can go ahead and just make that a 2, if you want to, because the square root of 4 is 2. So if you want to change it and go ahead and start out with this, you can. And then distribute as well. Okay? Totally up to you. All right? So you can make that a 2 if you want to, that square root of 4. Some people I don't think are going to see that, so I'm just going to leave it like this and just go like we are. The first 4 square root of 2 times square root of 4 is 4 square root of 8. 4 square root of 2 times the square root of 3 is 4 square root of 6. And then plus 3 square root of 3 times square root of 4 is the square root of 12. And then the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is literally 3, y'all. But I'm going to put the square root of 9, okay? Let me go over here and say this. Any square root multiplied by itself, or to itself, we'll just say multiplied by itself. Let me think, by its own self. Let's say that. That makes more sense. By it, Lord, I'm doing this right. Okay, by its own self is just the number as the answer. So what do I mean by that? I mean by like the square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is just 2. Why? Because the square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is the square root of 4. And the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is 3. Because the square root of 9 is 3. That's why. Okay? All right, so we can break this down. 4 and 2, 2 and 2. So I've got a pair of 2's. So it's going to be 4 times 2. That's 8 square root of 2. I'm sure y'all are seeing this by now. Y'all are able to do that. 2 and 3 you can't break down, so it's just 4 square root of 6. This is 3 and 4 and 2 and 2. So you're going to have, 2, 2, and a 3. That's, you got a pair there. So it's 2 square root of 3. And then plus 3. And that's your answer. I can't put any of those together. And you'll see later on you can, possibly, if the radicals are the same, but they're not. Okay? I'm going to let y'all look at that again just for a second. All right, let's look at this one. We got example. And remember, y'all can pause this and, write it all down if somebody's missing it. Negative 3 square root of 2, and then 2 square root of 2. Oh, wait, sorry. No, and I don't want to do that one. My bad. I just noticed that was a monomial times a binomial. Okay, the square root of 2 minus 4 square root of 3, and then the square root of 3 plus the square root of 3. Okay? So we're going to distribute. Let's do that first. What's the square root of 2 times the square root of 3? The square root of 6. What's the square root of 2 times the square root of 3? The square root of 6. Then we have negative 4 square root of 3. That's negative 4 square root of 9, or you could have just said negative 4 times 3, which is negative 12. You'll see that in a second. And then the same thing here, negative 4 square root of 9. All right? Well, you've got the square root of 6 plus the square root of 6, and then negative 4 times 3. Why? Because this is 3 times 3, y'all. And then negative 4, and this is 3 times 3, so that would be 3, okay? Now, let me just go ahead and say that you've got the square root of 6 plus the square root of 6. I know right now y'all don't know this, so I'm not really going to give you, I know I'm not going to give you one, of course, right now, but that would be the same thing as 1 square root of 6 plus 1 square root of 6 would be 2 square roots of 6. There's 2 of them. All right, that's minus 12, and that's minus 12. That's minus 24. Now, I know y'all could do these. Like, you could put these together, but I know right now you're not understanding the 2 square root of 6. I just want to show you that one. You'll be doing that later on after you've, added. Okay? Let me do another one real quick. Oop. 2 square root of 5 minus the square root of 6, and 3 square root of 2 plus the square root of, let's do 5 square root of 8. Okay. Now pause it right now, and y'all try this problem, and then I'll come back. Whenever you push play, we'll go ahead and start it up. We'll just start with the problem. So push pause right now. Y'all try it. Talk about it. You can talk to each other in your groups and see how you do. Remember, just distribute, okay? Okay. Now you're back. All right, you push play. All right, let's circle, claw, claw. So 2 times 3 is 6. Outside times outside. Inside times inside. That's 5 times 2 is 10. And then the outside, 2 times 5 is 10. And then 5 times 8 is 40. Now this one, that's negative 1 times 3. That's like having a 1 there, y'all. So that's negative 3 square root of 6 times 2 is 12. Negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. 6 times 8 is 48. We can break it down. Let's break this one down first. Y'all, nothing's going to happen there, so just bring it down. 4 and 10, 2 and 5, and 2 and 2. We got a pair of 2's, don't we? So we got to take that 2 out. So when we take it out, it's 2 times 10. That's 20 square root of 10. 2 times 5 right there. We got a 4 and a 3, a 2 and a 2. Okay, those 2's are going to come out. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6 square root of 3. Take that down. We've got this 4 and 2, 2 and 2, a 2 and a 3. All right, let me go over here. We got a 2, 2, 2, 3, 3. There we go. So 6 is going to go out. So that's negative 30 square root of 2. All right, this right now would be something I would be okay with you guys answering. This would be like an answer for you. Later on, you'll realize that 6 square root of 10 plus 20 square root of 10 is 26 square root of 10 minus 6 square root of 3 minus 30 square root of 2. All right, but for now, you leave it like that. We're okay. I just want to make sure you know how to multiply, okay? But this will be the answer in the future, okay? Because you could actually put these two together because they have the same radicals, all right? Okay, so you guys have some classwork to do. I think you're good to go. Just go back and look at this again if you need to look at it one more time. But otherwise, y'all have a wonderful day. And Coach J out.